Nikisa, just one last question. Are you going to give Claressa those 2 tickets she asked for on socials?
She asked for tickets?
She asked for tickets to this event.
Yes, but the issue is Remy Ma is a guest of the event with Amanda Serrano, so I just got to figure that out.
Well, so just one other question with the whole Claressa thing. Would that be somebody you guys would ever, because when we're talking about women's boxing, she's definitely a notable name. Some people look at her as a face of women's boxing. Could we ever see Claressa on an MVP
face
card?
Face of women's boxing is in this room, right? It's Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano and Alycia Baumgardner. That's the face of women's boxing on the biggest platform in the world and the greatest theater in the world. So that's the face of women's boxing. In terms of Claressa Shields, unbelievable champion. We would love to work with you, Claressa. She has a promoter, Salida Promotions. We would love to collaborate with them and bring her under the MVP umbrella.
Thank you, Nikisa.
Claressa, if I could pick your brain on the women's boxing landscape right now with Katie Taylor fighting again against Amanda Serrano, what does Amanda have to do to get an actual victory against Katie Taylor? Does she need a stoppage to get that W after 2 attempts already?
Why would you ask me that? One, I know what she has to do. If she asks me, I would gladly tell her. Well, I'm not going to tell her on here. But something different for sure. Something different for sure. She has to know she's in there with somebody who's been boxing since she was a little kid. She boxed these boys her whole life. She's strong. She's durable. You know what you can hurt her with, and you know what you can't hurt her with. And I feel like Amanda just feels she can just come forward just with those strong punches and just beat everybody when I think last fight she lost on counters. It wasn't that she lost the combat, she lost the counters. She's throwing 2 punches and then she get hit with 4. You know, so I think that she needs to maybe add some counters to her game. But the rest of it, like I said, if she hit me up, I'll tell her. But if not, I wish her the best of luck.
Thank you.
And I'll be there watching, as I'm always supporting the women. I'm always watching. You know, MVP got that little beef or whatever with me. They got all this bullshit. But at the end of the day, I've been supporting women way before Jake Paul ass came around. 100%.
Would you support 3-minute rounds versus 2-minute rounds yourself? Would that make a factor?
For me? Oh, wait a minute.
For women.
If Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano was 3 minutes, Amanda Serrano would 100% get a knockout. I think Katie is smart for saying, no, we're going to fight at 2 minutes, 10 rounds like we've been doing. Because when you're accustomed to something, that's what you're accustomed to. If you don't spar 3 minutes and you don't work 3 minutes for at least a year, I don't think it's possible for you to do it. I think Amanda has been preparing for that her whole career to make that big turn. And right now, she's one of the women that can go 3 minutes, and it's normal to her. Everybody can't do that.
Would you be willing to do so? Fight for yourself?
I told you a year, didn't I? A year. I need a year for that. Like, I spar 3-minute rounds now, but I don't spar 3-minute rounds to actually. It's a different energy between an actual fight and then like sparring. Like, a fight is really intense. So you only have one intense sparring session. You know what I mean? You got to have a lot of intense sparring sessions to do that. I think, like I said, give me a year when I'm boxing 3-minute rounds.
You would essentially have to start sparring 4-minute rounds to get accustomed to like how a 3-minute round pace would be in a fight.
They got to come with that dough.
Yeah.
They got to come with that dough, and they got to be worth my while.
When you talk about like you would share it with Amanda, you're not going to say it here. Is that part of a fighter's code? There's certain jewels you guys only share amongst yourselves. It's not for the public.
No, she may not want my advice, so why I'm put it out there.
We'd at least like to.
I mean, but y'all can't use it. She can. So it's like if she asks, I would gladly tell her. You know, and if she feel like she don't need my advice, then great to her. You know, and like I said, I was a fan of her before Jake Paul. I'm a fan of her now. You know, I feel like it's a little secret animosity or whatever going on there, but.
Well, you did say you felt the thank you or the congrats was a little dry, right? After you,
it was very dry. It was very dry, and you know, I want you guys to look at something because everybody think I just be picking. Look at all the girls' fights who I come to, and then look at my fights, and then you look at who's there, and then you can tell me who's the hater. That's what you have to do.
You don't feel like the support is reciprocated, kind of.
I've been at every Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight. I've been at fights before she fought against Katie Taylor. I've been at other fights too, with all the women. I come and I support. But when you see my fights, and I'm fighting for women's boxing too, for the equal pay, equal opportunity, equal TV time, you be at my fights, look around, and you tell me which female fighters are there. And then we can say who's the hater. Till then, all I have to say about that.
In terms of Amanda, you mentioned, we will see. Is that the same for Claressa, or is that when ship sailed already?
What's the question?
In terms of you and
Claressa
Claressa,
Shields?
maybe? Yeah.
I think Claressa Shields is walking around like at 190 right now,
She's
right?
totally out of the question.
Yeah.
And Alycia's walking around at 132, 133. So if Claressa Shields wants the biggest payday of her life, she's gonna have to figure out how to get to a weight class that makes sense for Alycia Baumgardner, right? That's just the reality of it. MVP puts on the biggest events for women in boxing, not what she does. So if she wants to have that opportunity against this champion, she's got to make the effort.
Kevin Garcia with FightHype. Alycia, 2 questions for you. So the first one, I just spoke to Jake and Amanda. They were next to each other. And I said, signing Alycia, obviously you guys are familiar with the history. Alycia's called Amanda out before. How do you manage that relationship? And, is that a fight that you guys completely, say no to? It's signed off? Or is it potentially something that could happen? He says, this is what Amanda wants. But what does Alycia want? Is that a fight that you still entertain? Like you still want to fight Amanda Serrano?
Listen, like I said, this is boxing. Anything can happen. The fact that I can share a stage with Amanda Serrano is important to me. It's making history. And like I said, I'm just stepping into my prime, y'all. So you're going to see so many exciting fights, regardless of who it is. Alycia Baumgardner is here to stay and here to make statements.
I think she's lying. I think she definitely wants to fight Amanda Serrano. Every great athlete wants to beat the best athlete, right? Whether you're on the basketball court, whether you're in the boxing ring, whether you're friends or not or on the same staple, you're gonna want the opportunity to show the world that you're the best. Whether that happens or not is to be seen. It's really up to Amanda ultimately, because she hopefully will beat Katie Taylor, right? And will be undisputed. And then she'll decide what she wants to do with her career. But I know Alycia wants it 100%, no matter
Serrano
what
Baumgardner, let's go.
I got one follow-up question. So, just touching back on the Claressa topic, I've just heard from sources that I have that you guys made up, you're friends or you're not friends, you guys had a sit down. So can you just clarify where you and Alicia's relationship is at? And you and Claressa's relationship is at, and did that happen? Did you guys make up or not make up?
At the end of the day, I'm a professional when it comes to anything that I do in and outside the ring. So I always keep things professional, I always keep things cordial. So that's just what that looks like.
Two of your favorite people, I'm being sarcastic, but Jake Paul, Alycia Baumgardner, them working together now.
Oh my God! Listen, congrats to Alycia Baumgardner. I think she deserved it. Nobody was picking her up. I think she went with the right people to pick her up. And hopefully now she gets to fight Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor, and she can show her skills. But congrats to her. I really have no problem with that. Now me, I'm never going to sign to an MVP. I'm never going to fight the undercard of Amanda Serrano or a Katie Taylor. It's not because I don't like them, I do like both of them. It's just that pound for pound number one, don't fight the undercard of nobody, and that's just how it is.
What if they make a big offer to be the main event with Alycia? What kind of weight would it have to be? Do you entertain that? Like if MVP, Alycia, they put a lot of money on the table to make that fight.
Where Alycia going to come to? 54?
Could it happen at 54?
That's the only place that I'm going. I can go to 54, I can go to 60 or 68, 75, but 47, like I said, if they're not coming with like the big bag to where I got to lose my big old booty, I'm not doing that.
Listen, can I get you to talk?